Hi friends, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to review the recent 2023 Telugu movie Virupaksha. This movie is not rated in the US, but considering the violence, blood, horrible deaths, we can equate it to an R. Do note that our channel does not encourage superstitions or bad beliefs in any way. The movie we are reviewing today is fiction and should be considered the same. The movie begins with the hero Surya returning to his native place with his mom after 12 years for a festival.
నేను పుట్టి పెరిగిన ఊరు వచ్చి 15 ఏళ్ళు అయిపోయింది.
In this village called Rudravanam, Surya meets a beautiful girl by name Nandini and falls in love with her. The heroine strangely appears to be an odd one out compared to all other ladies in this small village, as she appears fair and beautiful. Nandini is the daughter of the village Sarpanch. In the beginning scenes of the movie, we see Nandini along with her close friend Sudha roaming around the village. Sudha falls in love with a young man named Kumar. Surya's mom, having not lived in this village for more than a decade, gives her house to Parvati, who Surya calls as sister. While dropping off Nandini, Surya proposes his love for her. Nandini neither accepts nor rejects his proposal, but stays mum.
నీ పద్ధతేం బాలేదు.
ఎంత పెద్ద కళ్ళు ఉంటే అంత ఎక్కువ ప్రేమ ఉన్నట్టు తెలుసా? ఆ అమ్మాయి గురించి చెప్పి చావగొడుతున్నారు.
With the festival celebrations beginning, all of a sudden, Siddhaya, a village man, dies of an unknown disease after walking to the inner sanctum of the temple. The temple priest refers to a sacred rules book containing rituals followed by the village for many decades. He orders a complete lockdown of the village for 8 days with no rituals performed at the temple to avoid the ill fate.
దీని నుంచి బయటపడడానికి మనకు ఒకే ఒక మార్గం.
He says all village people must stay inside the village during the lockdown period, but outsiders like Surya, his mom, are allowed to leave the village before 6 p.m. Both Surya and his mom leave the village following the priest's orders.
గుడిని ఊరిని అష్టదిగ్బంధనంతో మూసేయాలి.
In the evening, Nandini has a seizure and the man bringing the medicine from a nearby village meets with an accident. To save Nandini, Surya rides a motorcycle carrying the medicine and gets into the village before the village border is sealed. Surya saves Nandini on time. Nandini, recovering, gives him a pendant that she used to wear from a very young age, thanking him for his timely help and his love. Nandini's friend Sudha breaks the order of the priest, crosses the seal, goes to the train station to elope with her lover Kumar. But to her shock, she witnesses his horrific death hit by a train. Sudha, still in shock, returns back into the village and then punches her face into a beehive. Meanwhile, Parvati hears some strange noise coming from the woods near her house. When she goes into the woods, she witnesses the milkman Suri slitting his throat. The next day, Parvati commits suicide under a spell very similar to Suri. With the village in lockdown and the cremating grounds outside the village, the priest directs the village to burn the bodies of Suri and Parvati in the abandoned haunted house. A flashback reveals that in 1979, 12 years back, the villagers had found a person by name Venkatachalapati performing black magic in his house. All the villagers together burn him with his wife, blaming them for some mysterious deaths in the village. Venkatachalapati's wife, before dying, curses the village, saying that the village will be destroyed in the 12th year from then. The villagers then sent their son, Bhairava, to an orphanage in a neighboring village. Since then, no one lived in the abandoned house, considering it to be haunted. Returning back to the current times, a crow dies all of a sudden for no reason. We then see an Agori standing outside the village shouting that the village is in danger as an occult is being performed and the 4 deaths are all related.
చూడే ఎంత ప్రశాంతంగా ఉందో.
గ్రహణం నీడపట్టి విడిచేలోపు ఊరు అంతమైపోతుంది.
The Agori, to the shock of all villagers, says that everyone in the village will be killed before the eclipse ends. The village men argue with the Agori, saying that he is wrong as they only had 2 deaths and not 4. Surya decides to investigate the strange deaths and tracks Suri's path to a quicksand, where he finds Suri's bicycle. Nearby, he finds a decomposed dead body of Sudha. He finds train tickets in her bag, and after calling the train station, he confirms that Sudha's lover Kumar also got killed in the train accident. He realizes what the Agori said was true, as there were 4 deaths and not just 2. Surya then, tracing back all deaths, comes to a conclusion. Sudha should have seen Kumar's death first, Suri should have seen Sudha's death, and Parvati had seen Suri's death. Concluding that anyone seeing the death first dies the next, he confirms that his lover Nandini saw Parvati's dead body first. He then runs to her house in order to save her. This scene is a funny scene, especially the style in which the hero runs. Nandini jumps into the well in the abandoned haunted house, but Surya saves her once again. The priest informs that the suicides are all linked to the haunted house, as everything seems to be occurring in the same place and the village has to sacrifice Nandini in order to save all others. He asks the villagers to put Nandini in a box and everyone in the village to give their blood as a sacrifice to be cleansed of evil. Surya, investigating the curse, comes to know more about Venkatachalapati and his wife. He stops the villagemen from sacrificing Nandini and vows to find the true cause behind the strange deaths to save everyone. He then declares his intention to leave the village. The priest allows him to cross and gives him 8 full hours before sacrificing Nandini. He tells Surya that Nandini will be sacrificed in the eclipse.
జరుగుతున్న చావులకి నేను కారణం తెలుసుకొని తీరుతాను.
As Surya planning to cross the village border, he faces opposition from neighboring village as they fear that Surya crossing into their village will bring bad things to them. Surya uses his jeep to move past the opposition. He then goes to a place where Agoris meet to find the Agori who had warned the villagers in the beginning. When a group of Agoris decide to fight with Surya with their magic, nothing happens to Surya as he is able to stand his ground. Only later it is disclosed that the pendant Nandini gifted Surya protected him from the magic. Surya, with help from the Agori, finds out that Bhairava, the son of Venkatachalapati, is still alive and seeking revenge on the village. He finds a cave where the spell was cast and later confirms that Bhairava is none other than Kumar, the lover of Sudha.
సమస్య ఎక్కడ మొదలైందో పరిష్కారం అక్కడే.
He also guesses that someone in the village is helping Bhairava in a spell to destroy the villagers. Surya, in the hideout, learns that the sacred book of the village has been switched. With the switched book, he understands that all the good rituals were replaced with black magic rituals that support the occult. He also learns that Venkatachalapati had 2 kids, 1 boy and 1 girl. The girl is none other than Nandini, whom the Sarpanch had adopted in order to save her from the villagers when they burnt Venkatachalapati and his wife alive. Surya also understands the reason behind the strange deaths. Having performed evil magic, the soul of Bhairava on his death jumps from one body to another, especially to the first person witnessing the death. He jumped to Sudha, Suri, Parvati, and now is inside Nandini. While getting back into the village with Agori, we have a fight scene.
జరగబోయే మరణ హోమాన్ని ఆపలేము.
ఈ సమస్యకు పరిష్కారం నేను వెతుకుతాను.
Though injured, Surya sacrifices his jeep but makes into the village. He asks Agori to reopen the village temple and also to break the seal that closed the village.
చరిత్రలో ఇలాంటి సంఘటన జరగడం ఇదే మొదటిసారి.
By the time Surya returns, he realized that the whole village had been possessed after giving their blood. Nandini, together with her brother Bhairava, forces the villagers to sacrifice themselves in the burning tree. It is the same tree in which Venkatachalapati and his wife were tied and burnt alive. Surya confronts Nandini, who stands inside her protected ring. Out of her love for Surya, she decides to let Surya go as he had nothing to do with the death of her parents. Surya does not leave and decides to fight Nandini in order to protect the village. Nandini is unable to attack Surya as he has her pendant, whose magical powers act as a shield against her own powers. Surya is not able to enter into the protective ring because of her powers. Even Agori loses his power when it attempts to break the ring. Seeing there is no other way, Surya decides to kill himself to make Nandini come out of her ring and injures himself.
కాపాడగల విరూపాక్షవి నువ్వే.
Seeing the blood of Surya, Nandini steps out of the ring, and this is when Surya kills her with a heavy art, ending the plague of death. A few days later, while performing the final rites for Nandini, Surya requests the villagers to let go of their taboo regarding evil practices. He looks at Nandini's pendant in his hand, and his eyes start to glow as his screen goes black. Not sure if the team is planning for the part 2, which has now become a fashion in the South Indian cinema. We have a few melody songs that are enjoyable in this movie. In US, even non-Telugu viewers can enjoy the movie as the movie has English subtitles. The team has done a very good job in keeping the thrill and the flow without bringing in unnecessary scenes or unnecessary songs in between. There is no separate comedy track in this movie, which adds to its advantage. It is true that when I planned to see this movie, I did not have great expectations, but it turned out to be great. That's all about the movie today, folks. Do remember to enjoy the movie in theaters. We will see you in the next video. Ciao. Remember to subscribe and like our videos.